Hey dude, I built this tonight just so we could start understanding what the hell we're doing and we could at least get started with the framework and then from there we can figure out what we're doing. In this little example, the carport is here on the left and the street is, this way. So that's the back. I got a little dude standing here to kind of give you some scale. These are them cement blocks, man, going around the 4x4 posts, right? 2x4s in between. Of course, they won't be perfectly level, so we'll have to go from, the high one over to the low one and just put a joist underneath it, but we can discuss that when the time comes. I can show you what we're talking about there. But this is what we're looking at, man. And this is, some fence panels going down the side. I don't know if we're going to do fence panels going down the side or fence paneling on this side of the roof, or I'm not sure how that's going to work out yet. I want doors on both sides. Um, you can see that on this side, the carport side, this is where the sun comes, right? So on the sun side, um, the pallets are down lower than on the non-sunny side because we want that higher clearance to let in as much sun as possible. Not even sure, not even totally 100% sure on that yet. We might just get struts, but I'd love to use the wood because we've got them. This is how many pallets I've got, 16. Of course, on the inside of the tunnel, the pallet has, the top side of the pallet. We can put hooks on there and hang hoses or put, hanging shelves or pots or whatever, right? But here we are on the inside. So all the pallets tops come to the inside there. There are them 2x4s again around the. So we might do this sides up with fence. We might do half of it up with fence and let the top part clear so you can see. We're going to have to run supports across the top. Like we've got supports down here across the bottom, we're going to have to run across the top. But having one across the top, one across the bottom, and then the pallet in the middle, that should really hold that thing together really well, right? Screwing them pallets in there. Maybe right there where it's kind of flush, get some of those metal braces. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe use some pieces of paneling to help form more braces. Right? Um, these are 38. These are about 3 foot. It's actually not properly scaled here in this SketchUp, but these are the pallets that were already made, so I'm using them. These are actually 38 inches wide, and then so that's a little bit over 3 feet. So that's 38, 38, 4 and 4 and 4 and 4, 3 1/4, whatever. So that's 12. And then I'm thinking like something like a 4 foot by 7 door. That doesn't have to be. That doesn't have to be that if we need to figure out the math on the triangles and then just whatever remaining space. You know, anything between 3 and 4 feet is going to be good on a door. We can just make it by framing together a bunch of 2x2 and using some plastic. But this right here, this tops out at 10 feet. We can't be any taller than 10 feet, right? And this is 8 foot 4x4, and this is 8 foot 4x4. And I want to work it out so we cut as little as possible. So if we set this up right here so that the top of that's 10, so that means this is laying right here on the 8 feet right there. And I don't know, we're going to have to cut this. I don't want any lower than 6 feet right here. So the cut slant on that's going to be 6 feet. And the way it scales out, this is all the scale, these pieces, except these are too wide for our actual pallets. But the way this all cuts out to scale is if we can keep this one uncut, that of course is not going to be cut. We're going to have to add a little build to it, either a triangle or a support across, and then I don't know. You're the fabricator. Let's talk about it. But that's 8. That's 8. That's 8. Cut that at 6. And that's a regular 2x6, and that's a regular 2x6. Might be able to bring these together a little bit more, end over end, and bolt and bolt, and bolt and bolt, and then that way they're real strong. We can bring that overhang in a little bit on that. And then the way this is set up is so that that's a 2x6, that's a 2x6, and that's a 2x6. Bring that in a little bit, bolt them together in the center for strength. I've got some pictures on how they frame in those on some sheds. The plastic clear corrugation. Need to see how much of the sun's probably going to have to do plastic clear corrugation on that side too. I don't know. I was thinking by the time the sun gets up in the sky during the summer, that might be too much shade. Probably will be. But I was thinking of plastic wrap around the side, and then just plastic wrap into the frame right there. So you'd come wrap around the plastic from wrap around the door frame, and right at that highest 8-foot point, wrap the plastic, come wrap around, foom foom foom. I don't know. I like the idea of being able to stand here and see out this way. Maybe what we do is we use the fence panels up like the first half of it, right? And then wrap the plastic around so it's still got the seal. And then down on this door hanging stuff, maybe use some of this extra corrugated stuff to make plastic in the little squared off spaces. But this, should give you enough of an idea to understand, where to start, right? We can start by laying out where the pallets are going to go, right? So this pallet and this pallet and this pallet and this pallet, the 4 on the end have to be the exact same width for this to square up. So this one, this one, this one, and this one have to be the exact same width. And all of these on this side, all of these on the carport side, all of these on the sunny side should be the shortest ones. And all of these on the north side should be the tallest ones. And then to make sure it's going to square up, there's a couple of them that are different widths. And as long as the 2 that are directly across from each other are the exact same width, then it'll all square up. You can't have these being shorter widths than these 2, because then this wall will end up being shorter across and these posts won't line up. And there are 16 pallets here. And that's how many I've got out there. And that's not including the 2 or 3 here or there. So if we need to swap one out, or if I need to go get a couple more at work, that doesn't matter. But what we can do right off the bat is we can get the bricks. You can count this right here and know how many of these foundation things we need. Count this right here, figure out how many 4x4 posts we're going to need. Use a few of the 4x4 posts to get one of these end templates built. Use the 4x4 posts that we have to get like this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one built, so that you can get this math worked out where this can't be any higher than 10 feet. And then that's going to be laying on that and then coming down onto this. We need 2 by 6. So we can get this fabrication figured out. We're going to need some sort of support across this on each eave. We're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 eaves. And we're going to need a couple of, but we need to work out this math by getting the reality of this down. And I need to show you how we're going to make this where, I mean, I know these are all level here, but out there in the real world, you know, you'll get each one of these level, and you'll get each one of these up and down straight. But at the base, some of these are going to be higher, and some of these are going to be a little lower. So you're always going to go from the high one across. You put the cement, put this in the block of the cement in the high one. And then whatever the distance is between the lower one and the thing, cut a piece of wood and block it and brace it. So we can work out the logic on that. You can get all these placed. We can figure out how the math's going to work by building out one of the end ones. Once we know how the math's going to work, we can get whatever lumber store to cut off this side of poles. But it should be something like 6 feet, 8 feet, 9.5 feet, 8 feet. Where we're putting like a 1.5 foot triangle there, and then brace, and then right there, brace to there, right there, brace to there, right there, brace across to there, right? So then these all get cut, whack, 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 whack. That's not a cut. That's a 1 foot piece right there, just so I had a measurement. That's a 1 foot piece, and that's a 1 foot piece. And these are 8, and that's 7 by 4, just as a reference. Once we get the 2 panels in place, and we got these 4 by 4s in place, and we got like 3 2 by 6s, we can lay these out and figure out how the angle's going to go and figure out what the fabrication's going to be on it. And then we'll know exactly how wide this is really going to be. And we'll know exactly how tall we have to have for the supplement on the both sides. And then we know exactly how tall all of these need to be cut as soon as we run a level line from there across to over there. And so what we'll have to do is we'll have to get our level line, because whatever the height is here and whatever the height is here certainly isn't going to be the level, right? So once we figure out what our 10-foot crest is, our 6 foot there, and then take the 6 foot across to over here, because we don't want to be too tall, then we know what we pretty much know, you know, what our height's going to be. We'll just work with the minimum average so that we don't go over in size. Right? Wrap plastic around the sides so that's a little bit cheaper. This corrugated clear stuff across here. Still not sure what we're going to do across here. Might be the corrugated clear stuff, might be some corrugated metal stuff we salvage, might be these planks. I think that's too much sun to eliminate. I think we're probably going to want trees and other things over here. I don't know. I can figure that out when we get a lot closer to being done there. But this is it. Tops of the pallets on the inside. On the outside, the bottom of the pallets have to be flush with the 4x4. So that on this side, we can mount across that corrugated, or on the outside, we can have that plastic be flush and not be catching on, you know, any of these edges and corners and stuff. And then on the inside, the pallets just can come all the way forward as needed. We can run bracing. We can put hooks on here, hang stuff up. right? 10-foot max. Two by sixes. Whatever this is, make that work. And then that's how wide the door is. Figure out how much you have to supplement right there. Go straight to the 8 there, straight to the 8 there. That way we're only cutting these. Right? Okay. Hope this works out.